Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show, an update to the Trade Tuesday series this week. So if you remember, a few weeks back I said, hey, I was going crazy and I decided to buy a brand new Epiphone. Well, the Epiphone came, I reviewed it, but that brand new guitar was not in brand new condition. There was a pretty sizable ding right under the Epiphone logo, so it went back. And from there, I thought, let's just wait for something good to show up. And I'm very happy that I did. It was a Craigslist find. I wasn't really searching in this area, but it just happened to be suggested to me. But this might be the second to last episode of Trade Tuesday. This instrument might help us get a custom shop guitar. It took every penny of our budget and a trip to Angola, Indiana to meet up with the seller. Now, unfortunately, he did not consent to being shown in the videos because he shared a little bit too much information with me since he was affiliated with one or more brands that helped contribute to this guitar. What is that guitar, you ask? It's the return of the Firebird X. This is just perfect. I was asking $1,200, but I was able to haggle him down into our Trade Tuesday range. But the poor guy trying to sell one of the most hated Gibson guitars locally only. That's definitely a tough sale, but if you open these things up to the online market, the value is there. My last non-functioning Firebird X brought in $1,200. Not everybody loves the Firebird X. I've documented a blue one. I'm very happy to now document the final red color, well, short of one of the prototypes. But let's go ahead and dig in. Alright, so the red Firebird X, we get to document the other color. Now, my other blue Firebird X video is a masterpiece. Go check that out for all the nitpicky details, but I just want to quickly look at this one since I've already reviewed this guitar. If you're not familiar with these are pretty much the most hated Gibson guitar in the world that ruined Henry Juskowicz's whole reputation as Gibson's CEO, and as we now know, he has been replaced. So this is part of the Super Robot family, a term that I made up to differentiate between the ones that just tune themselves and the ones that have tons of built-in effects. So this one, it's got these mini humbucker looking pickups, but they're not actually mini humbuckers. These are just built to emulate all the different sounds of single coils, humbuckers, P90s, pretty much anything you want to do. So don't get thrown off that it has mini humbuckers. But essentially, this guitar has 55 built-in effects, stock from the factory, that you can modify on your computer. So you pull up on this little knob and you wait about 5 seconds until it decides to kick on. There you can see it's going, so you're going to want to push this down into tuning mode and then it will tune itself. And then when it's done doing that, your guitar sound will automatically kick back on. So from here you have 11 different banks in which you can select from here. And each of these banks have a different sound type to them. For example, one of them's like acoustic sounds, and they do that by using this piezo bridge here. And then you use what looks like your pickup selector switch here to switch between the 5 different presets within this particular family. So you're not really selecting the pickups, you're just selecting the sound. And to turn the guitar off, you simply just push it down. Spec-wise, these are a swamp ash body, which kind of makes these interesting Gibsons because they don't really use that wood type very often. They also paired it with a maple neck with volute and a flamed maple fretboard. So just in case you didn't hate the guitar for its kind of bulky shape because they had to make it super thick to fit all these electronics in it, it's not really traditional Gibson wood combinations either. But as we learned in my last video, I actually kind of like the Firebird X. A lot of people will just compare these to like effects processors that have like 80 of those things built in. But the difference between those and this is these are true analog, not digital. But that might not make a difference to you. But what does make a difference to you is these guitars, they're comfortable to play in a weird way. You've got this little comfort carve right here, so it rests against you pretty well. The shape looks goofy, but if you've ever played an offset styled body, there's something nice about having something protruding into your chest. It sounds dumb, but it kind of keeps the guitar anchored in a way. And this is what always surprised me about the Firebird X. It's not an access heel joint here, but it is carved away. That way it's completely comfortable to reach every single fret on this fretboard. There's nothing that's not accessible. What's also nice is that the neck is more of a satin feeling finish. I mean, it's not completely satin. It's slightly more glossier than that, but not complete gloss. And the maple fretboard, despite Gibson never putting lacquer on theirs, there's kind of a thin lacquered finish over these. So no, these guitars are not for everyone, but I really think you should give them more of a chance than other people usually do. Because even if you don't like the 55 different presets, you can use these other mini toggles here in order to alter the sound even further. For example, these blue ones have things like the echo, modulation, and reverb. The red one gives you compression, distortion, and EQ. And then you can control the levels of the red and blue toggle pots with these slider switches over here. You just kind of slide them up and down to play with the different effects. So, I mean, this guitar was designed to be the end-all be-all of guitars, but it just didn't really work out too well for them. Mainly because guitarists were traditional, we would rather just have a pedal board. My last Firebird X did not work, but I did have the LPX, which is the exact same electronics, just in a Les Paul Special format. So I've already done a playing sample demonstrating all 55 different effects in this video, if you'd like to see that. But what I thought would be fun was just to spring this one on mic and be like, hey, you want to run through 55 effects? So I hope you guys enjoy his reaction to going through all these, not even knowing what's coming. And just as a quick update with Mike, I have 3 other episodes from him that have been pre-recorded, but after that, unfortunately, he has to leave us for his cruise job now. So big thanks to Mike. He helped me get unburied from a lot of these reviews and demos. Some people enjoy his playing more than others, but I wish you guys would all at least be respectful for him helping me out. All right, let's jump into his reactions. Now that we know how this instrument sounds, let's go ahead and review its condition and the things it comes with. This instrument was used very sparingly. It's got a little bit of light wear and tear that we need to go over, but for the most part, it was just in a smoke-free, pet-free recording studio type area. Everything is functional on this guitar, and I believe it has every single piece of case candy that it's supposed to have. We have the beautiful flamed maple fretboard. I love that they did that with these. It kind of makes them really special, and I personally like the maple fretboards. There's no fret wear to speak of. Now the face of the guitar, it's got some light scratches here or there. And for whatever reason on the Firebird X, it might be because of the swamp ash body, the finish doesn't always look even, and this finish was really dumbly called Redolution. Going for the whole revolution, but I guess Bluevolution was kind of just as dumb. But just light fingerprints and light scratching and dust along the top. Back of the neck, this is Firebird 446. You don't have any major nicks or dings here on the back. However, as you get up here onto the neck heel joint, you can see right here there's like a finish join line seam starting to show. It's kind of like a small finish check around the neck where it meets the body. That's very common. My last one didn't quite have that yet, but it's definitely not a break, crack, or repair or anything, and that's definitely the worst thing about the condition of this guitar. Next to this area up here, I'm not quite sure what happened. You can see it like got dinged up by a strap or something. Something dotted up the finish in this area. But besides those few marks, I mean, this was very well taken care of. It would be collector's grade for the most part, mainly because it just has all the accessories with it. Like with my last one, it was missing half the accessories, but this one, it's got it complete. And we'll take a look at those here in a second once we're done looking around the edges here. Everything is good. Okay, so these things get this big thick briefcase full of stuff. So let's see what it looks like if we were to unbox one of these from the factory. Because he said he never used any of this portion of the guitar. So here we can see the whole controls at a glance. It kind of teaches you how to use it. And he said this is the thumb drive that gives you additional information. The certificate of authenticity is also in here. Here's the strap that you're supposed to attach to this little carrying briefcase. Inside here is actually a strap for the guitar. It's a pretty nice little leather strap here too. Inside this little case compartment sleeps all the batteries that you'll need. I didn't even know they came with this many batteries. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one in the guitar right now, so that's at least 6, as well as the original charger here. And you've got some other wires in there. And then in this big zippered pouch, this has all like your USB cords that'll plug into your computer so you can update the Firebird X and add things to it. I think it's also like the power supply for these big pedals here. Now these pedals are meant to be coupled together, and then at that point you can use them to cycle through the effects a little bit easier. One of them actually kind of has like a pedal for a wah pedal kind of built into it. So you could do a lot with this. I'm not even gonna bother with it though, because it's like in brand new unopened condition. And honestly, I don't care to learn this much about the Firebird X. I'm happy enough just knowing the guitar. Now, this is what the case looks like. It's kind of like one of those gig bag cases. It's very firm, but yet soft at the same time. So it's great for protecting it. If I remember correctly, they said you could throw this out of like a 4-story building and it would be okay. It's done up by a zipper, but you do have a form fit here. And inside this little compartment in the case is what sleeps the other important part for this thing. You've got your typical Gibson paperwork, which is the pre-pack checklist and warranty. But inside here, this is what you need and what I was missing last time to connect it to the computer to do everything you want to do. So you plug your Firebird into here. It'll help you tune. I think it does some recording, and I'm not quite sure what all this thing does, but that's a little bit more time than I would want to put into this. But if you really want to unlock the full potential of the Firebird X and download new sounds, this is definitely what you want to conquer. Alright, so I don't know how to change strings on the Firebird X, and these are actually in pretty okay shape. So I'm not going to completely tear this one apart. We have a 1.68 inch nut width, which increases to 2.06 at the 12th. Now keep in mind, this is with the strings still on it, so it's probably close to like a 0.85 or something like that. And probably somewhere around like 0.95 at the 12th. And this example weighs 7 pounds, 10.3 ounces. If you think you might be interested in trading me something for this Gibson Firebird X in very complete condition, feel free to check out that link in the description that will take you to the Reverb for sale page. What I'm really looking for is to trade this for some type of custom shop guitar. I'm ready to move on to Trade Tuesday Season 2, where I think I'm going to change the rules up a little bit and change what our end goal is. Thank you, Troglodytes, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.